Hey, fourth grade, welcome to day 2. Before we start, let's go back and review. Yesterday, we looked at the digestive system and what takes place in the mouth, and just to review, we said that there are 3 parts to digestion in the mouth: teeth, saliva, and tongue. The teeth are the mechanical digestion. They tear and grind down food into smaller pieces. Saliva chemically digests food because it has enzymes in it that break food down into smaller pieces. The tongue helps to move food around so that the teeth can break food apart into smaller pieces. So these are all happening simultaneously. There's saliva being moving around in there with your tongue, and your tongue is moving food from side to side so that it can break down into smaller pieces. All right. And now here's a picture. I wanted to show you this because it has a picture of the teeth and the taste buds. All right, so the front part of the teeth are the incisors and the canines. They're at the front of the mouth and they tear the food. At the back, bicuspids, also known as premolars, and your molars. They're at the back of the mouth and they grind the food. And also, some scientists say that this is not true, but there definitely are different taste buds that we all have. And we can all taste salty things, sweet things, bitter things, and sour things. That's true and has been proven. But some scientists say that they don't believe that the sour can only be tasted on the sides of the tongue, and sweet can only be tasted on the front, and bitter can only be tasted in the back. Some scientists agree with that and some don't. But no matter what, we can all taste bitter, sweet, sour, and salty. Day 2, vocabulary. You're going to need to add all of these vocabulary words to your graphic organizer: taste, epiglottis, stomach, and of course you're going to define, put an image, and tell me what it is not. Sphincter, gastric fluids, stomach lining, ulcers, and peristalsis. Our esophagus. This is our esophagus. There's a process here called peristalsis. Peristalsis is where the pizza or the food moves through the body. The pizza's moving through here. Remember yesterday we said we were going to track your piece of pizza? You've put it in your mouth, you've chewed it up, it's gone to the back of the throat or the pharynx, and it's coming down the esophagus. And all the while it's going down through the esophagus, it's contracting and relaxing. Remember when we talked about the heart, we said it contracted and relaxed when it was pumping blood. All right, so here, this is what our esophagus looks like when it's relaxed. Whenever we're eating, here it is: relaxed, contract, relax. Relax, contract, relax. So what it's doing is, this is our food and it's getting pushed all the way through the esophagus. Here's another little example. Contract and relax. So what's going to happen next? Contract and relax. And here, look. Contract, relax, contract. Relax, contract. All right, so in our esophagus, peristalsis is where food is moving through the body. It's a smooth muscle in the esophagus. It's in the stomach and it's in the intestines, and it runs behind the trachea. I have a picture of that I'll show you in just a little bit. Epiglottis. Here is our epiglottis right here, and this is our trachea, and behind the trachea is the esophagus. You can't see it in this picture, but it's behind there. All right, and so here we've got the pharynx, the throat. The epiglottis is a small flap at the back of the throat. It covers the windpipe so that the tongue can push the pizza down the correct tube. This is a little bit better visual for you. Here's our food. Here we are. Here is the epiglottis. It's in the usual position, and here it is whenever it's protecting the airway from swallowing. The esophagus leads to the stomach. This leads to the airway to the lungs, okay? So the airway to the lungs goes right in front of the esophagus. Our stomach. Peristalsis is also happening in our stomach. It's where the muscles churn up the pieces of pizza that we just ate into even small pieces of pizza. This is where the pizza gets mixed in with gastric fluids. The stomach is lined with mucus to protect it from all the acid that's moving around. All right, so here we've got our piece of pizza, and I made this and took forever, but I made this for y'all so you could see kind of how it goes. All right, so here we've got our piece of pizza. We're chewing it up. Salivary glands have the enzymes, and it's breaking it down, and our tongue is swishing it back and forth in our mouth, and it's chewing it. Now we're ready to swallow. It goes to the back of the throat, the pharynx, and it comes down to the epiglottis, esophagus, comes all the way down our esophagus and into our stomach. It starts peristalsis in the esophagus and then in our stomach. And right here, these blood vessels, we'll talk about those in a minute, but those blood vessels are what pushes the blood cells that have the nutrients and the proteins out into our legs. All right, in our stomach, there is a sphincter. So right here in our stomach is the sphincter. And you're like, what is that? Well, let me tell you. All right, so you got your pizza coming down the esophagus. Here it is joining with the stomach. And then right here is our sphincter. It's the ring of smooth muscles that let your pizza get from the esophagus to the stomach. And here's our pizza, yummy, yummy, in our tummy, getting broken down into even smaller pieces. And it's getting ready to go into the small intestines. All right. Here is an inside look at the sphincter. You can see it's a muscle right there. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. You can see it's a muscle right there. There's some acid moving around in there. This is the sphincter. Churn. Once the pizza's in your stomach, peristalsis causes the stomach to churn or mix the pizza with the gastric fluids. Churning breaks down the pizza. So it's just like it was in the esophagus, in the stomach. It's relaxed, contract. Contract, relax. Okay? Today's activity. You're going to make a comic strip. Yours is here. This is mine. Draw a comic strip of a piece of food moving down the digestive system. Use the Write It draft organizer to help you organize content for the 5 boxes. Next, we'll look at the small intestines.